All right, football guys talking basketball. FGTB. Ted, let's start with the NCAA tournament. Fun weekend.
Oh,
Kansas State loses to FAU. Oh no.
brutal. It's tough. Really good game. Just it looked like Kansas State had, was that special team this year, right? Kind of all the things that they'd gone through.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially after that Michigan State game, you were like,
yeah,
Marquise Noel, he's like the best story of the tournament. Like, oh, they're definitely going to the Final Four. The Owls had other ideas. They didn't really care how good of a
yeah.
story K State and Jerome Tang in his first year were. That was an impressive performance by them.
No, they are. They're legit defensively. They've got length. They're athletic. It's crazy that they put together that good of a squad. I mean, I I don't know how many times, like if you play out this season, they make it to the Final Four. I'm not suggesting it's any high percentage chance, but this doesn't have this team doesn't have the look of like your usual, mid tier, non Power Five or whatever you want to call it, basketball school going in like a mid major. Like they got length, they got athleticism, they're deep. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's their 35th win of the year. I
Crazy. Dude.
I I think I remember hearing they have the most wins in all of college basketball. Now they're headed to the Final Four as a 9 seed, which we don't see a ton of. But the craziest part, it's their second time in the tournament, and they're going to the Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're legit, man. They're really good defensively. I think they got a chance. I mean, you get into the Final Four, obviously you have a chance, but it's a well-rounded basketball team, man.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'll say about that game, how do you not get a shot off on the last possession? I mean, how the hell does that happen? Now, I was shocked. First of all, the possession before, I was shocked Noel didn't take the step back three. I
Mm-hmm.
know the guy's 7 foot. I get it. But with the way that the clock rules are in college, like you got to shoot the three there. And I was stunned he didn't take it. And then I was even more stunned that he gave the ball up, especially with how much he'd been hogging it in the second half. I
Right.
just like he just gives it to Ish Masood like it's a grenade, and Masood's like, "What do I do?" And the game ends without them even getting a shot up. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah. Brutal. That was
Can't
tough.
happen.
Hard to watch. Kansas State was a fun team, man. They were fun to watch make their way through it. And I thought they were going to the Final Four. I did, whenever this thing kind of lined out for them. But they had a great season. It was a fun story, but FAU, man, they're legit.
Dominated the glass,
Yeah.
and I mean maybe the bottom line of that game for me is, and I know we had some foul trouble, but you get on that stage, your studs got to play well, and Keontae Johnson, they just didn't get enough from him. K
Yeah.
State did not get enough from him.
Yep. No.
That's got to sting, man, for
It's
him.
tough. It's tough, but it says pretty good. You're number one for old Tang, right? Awesome.
Him having that type of year, number one, doesn't do Porter Moser any favors.
I know. I know.
Just turns the temperature up even more. All right, so FAU going to the Final Four. I'm sure a lot of people will be cheering for the Owls, right? The underdog, but they're going to be playing San Diego State. So San Diego State beats Creighton, and what's the best way to put this? This was a rough watch for me. I am not a I'm not into the defensive battle college basketball game. I'll be the first one to tell you. And there were a lot of missed shots. And I don't know if you saw what De'Aaron Fox said, but I kind of have a similar thought process to what De'Aaron Fox said about watching March Madness games, especially one like this. But hey, it came down to the wire. And I hate that game finished the way that it did, but Nimhard fouled Tramel. Like you can't, like a guy is going up for a floater. You can't put your hand on his hip like that and not let him keep going up in the air. It's just, it sucks that it ended that way, but it's a foul. I hate it. I hated that it ended that way, but I thought that was the call. The ref, I thought the ref had to make that call.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like a lot of because I didn't see it live. I saw the highlights and I heard some of the commentary after it, and a lot of the commentary and people talking about it online are completely oblivious to the fact of like how he had the hand on the hip. It's like, he didn't touch the shot or the shooting hand, but yeah, he's like, there's a lot of that's a foul. I mean, I'm the same as you. I hate that that's the way that it goes. I would also hate that it doesn't get called. So it is tough. It's never the way that you want it to end on something, I guess, controversial like that. But I think it was called properly.
I'm with you. So San Diego State and FAU will battle it out in the Final Four in Houston. One of those teams will play for a national title, which it's a crazy year, man. All right, let's talk about the other games that were actually okay. Well, do we even need to spend any time on UConn Gonzaga? That was
I did not see that happening.
Now I picked UConn to win it all. Feeling pretty good about things right now, right? Hurley, he's got that squad playing at a high level. They've got several pros on that team. I'm not sure this game needs much analysis. That was an ass kicking.
It was brutal.
Thorough.
Yeah, up 30 for a large chunk of that game.
And Drew Timmy's good. And I know he was in foul trouble, but he wasn't making
no
a 30-point difference.
It was one of those nights where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, like mishandling the basketball, like dropping passes. It was just one of those nights, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now you look at UConn, who is just they were head and shoulders above Gonzaga. They've been head and shoulders above everyone they've played. And you start thinking about some of these great teams we've seen run through the tournament. They're the fifth team in tournament history to win each of its first 4 tourney games by at least 15 points. They're beating the hell out of everyone.
Crazy. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, there's probably some conversation there about, well, since they haven't really been tested, are they going to fold whenever the pressure kicks in a tight game? I don't know. If I had my choice, I'd win every game by 15 on my way to the Final Four too. So I don't know what you say there, but it's been an impressive run for sure.
Yeah. And they'll meet Miami because shucks, Texas collapsed down the stretch. What a shame. No, it was weird to watch because I mean, it felt like Texas was in control, right? At one point in that second half, it was a 13-point lead. They're up double digits with like 8 to go. Maybe it's 8.5 to go or so. And just stop hitting shots. Seemed like they got a bit of a case of lemon booty, man. Pressure got to them, and give Larinaga and Miami credit. They just stuck to the plan. They were not shooting threes. They refused. I mean, it was.
Didn't hit a 3 in the second half.
They hit 2 threes in the entire game.
It's wild.
Texas hit 10. I didn't even know, like in college basketball, you hit 8 more threes than your opponent. Typically, you win the game.
Like a 1980s throwback style game from Miami.
Yeah, they punished Texas in the paint. But man, what a performance by Miami. And I cannot wait for this is what NIL can buy you think pieces that we're all going to be exposed to this week. Oh, it's going to be exhausting.
I know it. But hey, congrats to them. This is and I'm obviously not I don't follow college football or college basketball rather the closest, but this is a weird Final Four, right? Like, this is why no one ever has the perfect bracket, because I don't know how you could ever pick this Final Four. It's pretty wild. Outside of UConn, obviously, people had that.
I would imagine UConn's going to be a pretty substantial favorite, right? When you look at the odds, but that San Diego State game against FAU, I think I like FAU, but I mean, who knows? But that's really cool. You think about what makes college basketball great. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather see a big time program with a bunch of guys that will end up playing in the NBA, playing in that game. But I'm gonna try to enjoy it. I'm gonna try to enjoy it.
Unless it's a legit basketball game, right? What you hate is to get all of this way to the Final Four and you have a couple blowouts on this stage. But
I just don't want to watch what I watched with Creighton and San Diego State again. It was almost putting me through physical pain watching so many missed shots. People are like, oh, the defense, it's physical. It's like, no, they just can't hit shots. This sucks.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you.
Anything else from the NCAA tournament? You're right. It's a wild tournament.
Wild. And it started wild right from the beginning and has kind of been that way all the way through. There's been some great games, some great moments, and hopefully the Final Four, although it's a totally random group of teams, hopefully it lives up to some of the great Final Fours we've had previously.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little Thunder right here since we're in FGTB. Squad went 1-2 in the 3-game trip in LA. That loss to the Lakers hurt. I wanted that one real bad, but just could not make enough plays late to get that win. And Anthony Davis, when healthy, still very good at basketball. Now, we're recording as, of course, the Thunder are down by 12 at the end of the first quarter to the Portland Trailblazers, who are literally sitting all of their players that are good. So I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to choose to believe that the Thunder get it together and they end up winning that game.
No, not a problem. They will. They're gonna bounce back. It's some guys that don't get much run at Portland having a nice little exciting moment here early, but don't worry.
But either way, since the Thunder have the tiebreaker over the Mavs, even if they lose that game, they will still be in solo possession of 10th. So in the play-in, baby, as things stand, and it's just a big upcoming stretch for them when you talk about stacking some wins, right? They've got this Portland game, which by the time people listening this, I love your confidence and optimism, Ted. They will win that game. Then you've got a back-to-back with Charlotte and Detroit there at home in Oklahoma City. Got to win those 2 games. Got to win those. Need to win both of those. And then that would be a 3-game winning streak. And hopefully you get the one in Indiana on Friday. But it just feels really good. I know I've said this a lot lately, but it just feels really good that the Thunder is playing meaningful basketball again in the month of March. Like, it feels good. It makes my soul happy.
That's right. That's good. And I still believe, I've said it multiple times, it's better to attack it this way than it is to find reasons to sit guys and maybe not make it in. Have these guys learn what it's like to be in the grind down the stretch in March as you're heading into playoffs, man. I think it's good for this team, and I feel like they're gonna finish strong here. I do.
I think Chet Holmgren caused a little bit of a stir with that Instagram post. You see that?
I did not.
Couple pictures of him. Caption: free 7. Which a lot of Thunder fans were like, he's ready. He wants to play. Let him out, Sam.
No way, right?
I wish there was a way, but I don't think there's any way. How cool would that be? Like, last couple games, and then how pissed would you be to be one of those play-in teams? Like, wait, hold on. No. Flag on the play. Cheating. Can't bring this 7-foot guy that can shoot out of nowhere who hasn't played all year. That's cheating.
I will say, how awesome would it be if they did and he just stepped right out there and was like dropping bombs? That would be such a cool story. But I think they'll probably err on the side of caution.
I have no problem admitting this. He warms up before the game, right? And any video of him like going through his warm up that I can get my hands on social media, I watch it multiple times.
How's it look?
He looks good, man. I mean, he's
Okay.
just, the body's awkward, right? It's always going to be awkward, but the skill, just a beautiful jumper. Beautiful. And also, he just casually jumped up and windmilled the other day in one of them. And I was like, oh, okay.
One of those windmills where your feet hit the ground as you dunk the ball.
He actually got up pretty good. I was like, okay.
Nice.
I was impressed.
That's cool. That's good, man.
There's no way. There's no way. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Oh my God, it'd be so cool.
I kind of don't want it to happen because you'd be so nervous about a re-injury.
I'd be a wreck. And also, you have to factor in, we want Chet Holmgren to be Rookie of the Year next year. When he wins it over Wembanyama, we're going to look at everyone and go, oh, you guys all wanted Wemby. We got Chet. We're good. Thanks. Can't wait to rub it in everyone's face.
That's true.
And Jalen Williams is going to finish second Rookie of the Year this year.
Crazy. No one picked that.
I heard JJ Redick talking about the advanced stats. He's a big advanced stats guy. And so it took me in a deep dive. Jalen Williams has better, all of the advanced stats on him are better than Paolo Banchero. Just saying. Redick was right.
Nice.
Just
he's got my vote. Means nothing, but he's got
If I had to vote, I'd vote for him. Because I care.